So with this video, we're going to be looking at specific powers that the states have and how they have those powers. So because of the federal system that we have a shared division of power. States can do some things, federal government can do some things. The 10th Amendment, though, if you remember back in our Constitution unit, we talked about this as one of those amendments that pretty much helped the compromise between those two factions or those two groups of people arguing about the Constitution, really helped them put their differences aside. Okay, so the 10th Amendment was put into the Constitution, into the Bill of Rights, to appease the Anti-Federalists. Remember, the Anti-Federalists were the people who said, we don't need a strong central government. We had one of those before. It didn't work out really well. Maybe we should not go down that path again. The Anti-Federalists also believed that the only way they were going to sign the Constitution is to include the 10th Amendment and include the Bill of Rights, because if you don't have your rights written down, they become potentially arbitrary. And then what are you going to do? How are you going to argue it? It doesn't say in the Constitution that I have the power to drink coffee. So hopefully, that's the 9th Amendment, but anyway. All right, so the 10th Amendment tells us that powers not delegated to the federal government by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states or to the people. And that's a very wordy way to say if a specific power isn't listed in the Constitution and that specific power is not denied to the states, then the states have that power. And one of the best examples of this is the issue of education, okay? Nowhere in the Constitution does it say anything about education, yet we have a system of education in the United States. Now we have a federal Department of Education, right, that is responsible for overseeing all of the different policies and laws dealing with education. But then each individual state is responsible for the education of students within their boundaries. So our laws dealing with mandatory age of when you have to start school, that might be different from another state. Maybe you have to take an exit exam in high school. So for example, when you guys graduate, you'll have to take the Missouri Constitution test, the U.S. Constitution test, and you'll also have to take the citizenship test. Okay, those are 3 requirements set forth by the state of Missouri. So obviously, if you go to another state, you're probably not going to have to take and pass the Missouri Constitution test because they don't care, right? So there's an example of the 10th Amendment in action. So according to, and I'm going to move myself so we can see this. According to the concept of federalism, states also have the authority to have what's called police powers within their jurisdiction. So this is the authority to create laws within a state to promote the general welfare, safety, health, etc. of the people within a state. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, some governors, some states have used their police powers to promote the general welfare, to require a mask mandate throughout their state. That's one of those things that would most likely fall into the category of police powers, things that are designed to promote the general welfare, safety, health, etc. of citizens in their states. So with that, I shall stop. And if you have any questions on this stuff, please let me know.